Good morning, this is Tracy with Totally Trace. I am here live. I'm going to make another card using the Festive Friends bundle. And then I'm also using the Christmas Tags and More paper. The Festive Friends, I cannot get enough of these cute little characters. In the bundle, there's an elf, a Santa, and a snowman. And I'm just realizing, oh yeah, I do have it pulled out. So these are the stamps, and then what makes this even better, although I'm not even sure I'm going to use them today, we'll see, are all the dies that come with it. I mean, this is like your Christmas go-to stamp set. You've got 2 different Christmas trees, you've got the snowflakes, you've got tags. It's just a great bundle, and really it's because these characters are so stinking cute. I'm making a slider card today. It's the first time I've ever made this version, so we'll see how it goes. I saw a fall version in the Creative Convention online, so that is something that my upline puts on 3 or 4 times a year, and they do make and takes, they do mystery projects, and this was a mystery project. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm making this card. And I knew I was going to use it with the Festive Friends. So let's get started. I'll tell you the measurements as we go. Again, it's the first time I'm making this, so you might not want to make it at the same time I'm making it, because I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes, so you can learn from my mistakes. I'm using Real Red, and we need 5.5 by 8.5. So I pulled this out thinking it would be close. All right, we're at 8.5. Let's see if we're at 5.5. Nope, let me trim off just a little bit. And then we're gonna score that long side at 4 inches and 8 inches. All right, just like that. I'm not going to put that too far away because we're going to use it. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning for me here. And usually by now I have been up for hours. I have already made a ton of cards. I've made some reels. I've done a lot of things. This morning I didn't wake up till 8 o'clock. And for me, that's really late. Hang on, I'm still sipping my coffee. I didn't go to bed till midnight. And a lot of you are probably like, yeah, well, for me, like, I'm an old lady. I go to bed. My bedtime is 8 o'clock, even on a Friday night when I don't work. Sometimes it's 7 o'clock. So when I woke up and it was light outside, I was like, whoa. So I'm running a little behind this morning. I'm kind of liking it, kind of thrown off a little bit by it. All right, so this paper is going to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. I want it to be a little bit smaller than the card base. Okay, and then I have a white that is the same thing, and I believe I cut this down already. So the white actually needs to be 3 3/4 by 5.5. All right, and then we need a coordinating DSP, some designer series paper. That's 3/4 by 3 3/4. So let's see. All right, I can't cut it that way. So I need it 3 3/4 by 3/4. So let's cut to here. I know I was throwing out a lot of numbers there, so just to say it again, this one is 3/4 inches by 3 3/4. All right, and then you need a red strip that is 3/4 by 3. So I just want it to match my card base. Okay, oh, we're actually not done cutting yet. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this to the front of my card. And I'm actually going to use tape because we're going to cut into this and I don't want to have to worry about it being dry. Good morning, Sue. All right, come on. See, this is why I like glue. So I just want that centered. Okay, so this is where the magic is going to happen. So I'm going to keep this open and I am going to cut through this. So I want it to be about an inch from all the edges. So an inch from the top, an inch from the bottom, and an inch from the inside. So I'm going to line my score line up at 1 inch. I'm going to put it at the top. And I'm going to use this guide. Okay, so because I've got that camera and, oh, good morning, Debbie. Oh, look, comments are coming through today. I don't know what was happening this week. Thanks for joining me. All right, I've got camera and lights in front of my face, so I'm not going to be, whoops, and then I'm moving things. So I'm not going to be able to see this as well as you'll be able to. But essentially, I've got my guide lined up at the 1 inch, and because this is going to 5.5, I'm going to go to 4.5. So I'm just going to press down, and then I'm going to slide this slowly until I hit the 4.5. And if it's a little over or a little under, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay. So we've just got that little slit. I'm trying to show you. Yeah, it's not popping out enough for me to be able to show you. Okay, so next, you're gonna take this white piece and see, yeah, it's making me a little uncomfortable that it's that long. So I'm just gonna cut like 1/8 of an inch off here. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm laying this inside just as a guide for me, because what I want is, oh, that's why we're not seeing it. I didn't actually cut all the way through. All right, let's try that part again. All right, so I'm putting my score line at 1 inch. And then we're gonna put the guide at 1 inch. And this time I'm really gonna press and just kind of go back and forth, and we'll see if I got it. Feels like I did. Yeah, there we go, that's better, okay. Now I can see it. And I'm just kind of using this as a guide because this piece we're gonna want to thread through. And so it's gonna kind of tell me where I wanna glue it onto here. Okay, so I want it to go out quite a bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna just kind of hold it down. And I'm gonna put a little tape just on this side. Okay, and then I'm gonna get this thread back through. Okay, just like that. All right, now we're going to put glue on this little flap. Good morning, Karen. I'm making a slider card for the first time. I've never made this one. So, like I said, hopefully it's gonna turn out. And we want this. We want the white to be inside of that. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, this little piece here that we cut earlier is going to go there. And you know what, I'm gonna use glue because this one I know I'm gonna want it lined up perfectly. So I like that I can kind of move things around. Okay, and then we are going to punch that. So I'll give it a minute to dry. So while we're doing that, I've got my cute little elf. I'm gonna color him. I'm gonna do traditional. So I'm gonna use the Granny Apple Green because the dark one does match really well with the garden green. And then I'm gonna use real red. Let's see. blends. I don't know. We'll make this part red too. We'll make his stripes red. And we'll color this in. See how that's garden green? Sorry, you guys might have known this, but I was shocked the other day when I discovered it. Oh, he's so cute. All right, and then for his face, I've been using the ivory. Of course, you can do whatever skin tone you want. And it's about time for me to get a new ivory. My other tip, I think someone went a little hard on it, and so it's not a nice fine paintbrush anymore. Okay, and then I don't remember the name of the Stampin' Blends, but one of them is ivory and one of them is bronze. So I'm using the bronze part for the hair. Just like him. Okay, and then this is Notes of Nature circle. So I'm gonna do that. And then I pulled out this label. I'm thinking that's gonna be too much. Let's do, I think I just want a strip. So let me get a scrap out. And I pulled out my traditional labels. I'm gonna do Sending Cheer. And I commented on this earlier this week that these are rounded because they are, you know, it's meant to fit in this label, but you don't have to use them as rounded. So because they are the photopolymer, you can really see how I'm just straightening it and then sticking it down. So I'm going to look at it, see how that looks straight. All right, let me get some real red ink. Good morning, Marilyn. So we'll do Sending. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the cheer. So I'm just going to put it on there straight. Let me get that out of the way so I don't end up getting ink on it. I might have ended up curving it a little bit the other way. Okay, and then we're just gonna put this. This is the beauty of photopolymer, that I can do that. I can line things up or not necessarily line them all that straight. Let's do, all right, hang on. I could say it's homemade and that proves it, but because I'm just using scrap anyway, let's get this where I'll really like it. Sending. Remember, no spatial sense for me. And that G's just a little crooked. All right, let's try that. There, I like that much better. Okay. Let me trim that down. Okay. Let's go ahead and put him together. And actually, I think I want to trim this even more because I don't want to hide any of this adorable elf. And I'm realizing, so last night, the reason I went to bed so late was I had some crafting fun with a friend's, and I'm realizing that I left my good scissors out on the dining room table where we were crafting. So I do have some ribbon to cut, so I'm probably going to shred this ribbon since I don't have my good scissors in here. But you'll get the idea. All right, so now here's what's going to happen. Actually, let me do the ribbon first. So I'm just going to punch a hole in the center. And I've just got some red ribbon. Okay, it's not cutting it too badly. And then I'm just going to tie this into a knot. All right, and then we're going to attach that. So, oh good, I do have one dimensional left on there. All right, so here's our card, but look, when somebody opens it, it goes up and down. Isn't that so cute? So what would go perfectly in here is, I don't have a gift card here, but like you could use a little glue dot right there. And then that way when they open the card, they've got that surprise gift card there. All right, so there is today's card. I just want to remind you, I do have my Christmas mega class coming up. So let me show you some of the cards from that. And then if you are making a purchase with Stampin' Up, if your order is $35 or more, just get the starter kit. You'll be part of my team. You'll get $125 worth of things for only $35. You'll get, and the things are whatever you pick, whatever's on your wish list. You'll also get free shipping on it, and you get a free paper pumpkin. So it's an amazing deal. It's only good for August. And then part of my team, you get all my tutorials too. Oh, thanks. Debbie says she loves it. But speaking of the Festive Friends, this is one of the cards or one of the classes in the mega kit. I just, like, really, I can't get enough of these guys. In fact, I think I pulled them out. Here they are. I've made some alternatives. So the exact same, but with retired paper. Just to show you, like, it's so cute. Any paper works with these guys. So that's one of the classes. And then the Traditions of Christmas, which hopefully you saw. I demonstrated these Wednesday, so you can go look for the replay of that, or it's on my YouTube channel. So that's one of the classes. And then there's this one I love. It's a little gift bag. So this is a gift to give somebody or to keep for yourself. And in it are 4 coordinating cards and the envelopes that go with it. So that's one of the classes. And then the last class uses this same paper that I used today. And you actually get a half pack of the paper in the class. So you're going to have a ton extra to make more cards. And it's one of those fun packs that, like, it has little tags in it and it has pop outs. So like this little Christmas tree is a pop out. You'll have 2 sheets of these pop outs. So this is the other class. If you are interested in these classes, you can go ahead and click on the link in the comments. And I will be back again on Wednesday live making something else that hopefully inspires you. I hope that you loved this card today. I will see you next time.